Okay, so we're gonna start by explaining some things. You can see both of these runners are waiting on the wait screen. Basically, what that means is that uh, when they enter a fight, their action bar will be what's called on wait. So when they enter a menu or select an item, in that menu, the action bar won't advance. So they can actually take their time in the menu to select their attacks or their items without having the enemies attack them. That's really important in order for some setups we're gonna do later in the run.
Yeah, a lot of the fights in this run are fairly tight. So if you were playing on active, I don't think you'd really be able to pull some of these things off.
Yeah, really tight. Um, Especially what's gonna be, in my opinion, the deciding place in the game could be Masamune. We've seen so many people get destroyed by Masamune this tournament, so
Yeah, Masamune can be rough for sure.
yeah.
So a couple things right at the beginning here. They're going to be doing some menuing right at the start here to get their game set up for the rest of the run. So you see them set the battle speed to 1 because that's the fastest. They'll also change their controls around a little bit and set combat cursor to memory, and that's going to be important later on.
Yeah. So battle speed 1 makes that the way Chrono Trigger battles work is you have to wait for your action bar to fill in order to do an attack. So this just makes it, it feels faster both for you and for the enemies. And then battle cursor to memory, it makes it so that you could hold X to attack, which we're going to be touching later. It also remember the last tech you did, which is really important.
Yep.
And then changing controls is mostly preference, but there's a point in the game where you have to change your menu out of the X button. We'll explain it when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
The
But
last
if
thing,
you change it here, it's pretty good.
Yeah. The last thing, I guess, is just that, which is pretty common for these kinds of games, is that you rename all the characters to just one letter, because then there's like less text to put on screen whenever they talk, which depending on the character can be a big deal or not such a big deal.
Yeah, in this categories, since this is a mid-game category, not a full-game category, it doesn't save as much time, but it still saves. I'd say overall around 30-something seconds just for renaming your characters, so that's pretty good.
We see both of our runners going for candy skip, none of them getting it.
Rip candy skip. You can skip that candy cutscene. In this category, though, you have to go back, so it only saves 61 frames, so it's a 1 second 1 frame time saver if you get it. Also, something we saw runners do at the beginning of the game. They started directly on the active or wait screen, but something you didn't see them do was deleting all of their save files. Basically, what that does is that it makes them start on the RNG 0, so that way we can have control of the RNG from the beginning of the game. That's gonna be extremely important because the way RNG advances in this game, or the way it's set, it's depending on how much time you spend on the timer screen. It's whatever seed you get. So if you delete all your save files, there's no title screen. You get what we call, value 0, seed 0.
Yeah, and that's going to be the main way of really doing this run, like different than a casual playthrough, I guess, is there's going to be a lot of managing what RNG you're currently on to make sure you have the optimal values for upcoming fights and stuff. Especially for boss fights, you'll see pretty much everything in this run is manipulated.
And also, since we're extremely underleveled, it's gonna be really important in some cases that we actually have it. Point in case would be Masamune when we get there, would be the most common one. But also Flea / Magus, Dragon Tank, etc. They'll all require good RNG, or it can get dicey.
So for the first few minutes here, it's mostly just triggering story triggers to progress until we get sent back to 680. We start seeing a decent example of how fights in this game are gonna go.
Yeah, the start can be a little bit of slow, but you get a pretty nice menu at the start. And then there's also a fight coming up, which is actually kind of hard. And then a skip that's coming up right after that. So it has its parts, but the first 10 minutes are kind of, kind of dull sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of text mashing and a lot of talking.
Yeah. This first fight's gonna be pretty important. So we talked about how RNG works, and in this case, they want to try to keep that RNG manipulated in a certain way for other fights to work well. So they have to kill the imps without getting hit. So Magus does that perfectly. Basically, you have to input X right really quickly. Redslash as well. So they both keep the RNG they want.
Yeah,
RNG changes also by getting into fights, doing attacks. So it's pretty important.
You see Magus getting bird skip. And the Redslash as well.
Nice. Taking the power glow from the chest. That bird skip, you're gonna see it 3 times during this run, and yeah, it's pretty important, especially this first one, since if you get into the fight, you lose your RNG, and you have to run away from the fight. So not only you lose your RNG, but you have the time waste from running away from the fight.
Yeah, and you can definitely in races where you see one person get into an extra fight at the beginning here and one person not, you can see that it's fine. Like you can still make it through everything just fine, but you can definitely see them like fall behind slowly but surely, because a lot of things just don't work out as well as if you're on the right RNG.
Yep. Yeah, we're calling it RNG, but there's a bunch of different values. There's a critical value, then there's the fights value and stuff, and so we're just call it RNG for simplicity. But with RNG, you can control enemies' movements, criticals, your damage rolls. So it's really important to be on top of it this whole run.
Yeah, and that's one of the most rewarding things about running this game, is just having a fight planned out and be able to just say, oh, now I'm gonna hit for this value, now I'm gonna hit for this value. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's kind of different to most RPGs, since you think Chrono Trigger, it's an RPG, it should have a lot of RNG, but the RNG in this run is really minimal. It actually becomes more of an execution test than an RNG fest. I'd say in a full game run, I'd say there's maybe around 50 seconds of RNG at the worst case scenario, so it's not as bad for a 3-hour run. Both going down the stairs. If you hold diagonal down the stairs, you go down the stairs faster. Then a little bit more of the story. We haven't talked much about it, but most people should know it at this point. 25-year-old, no, 23 or something year old game. Yeah, we came to save the Marl, who got sent into the past, and then she disappeared. Because apparently she's part of the royal family, so they thought she was the queen, but she's not. And now the queen's in trouble, so she might die. If the queen dies, Marl doesn't exist.
It's basically just teaching you the rules of time travel. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the last little section of story and dialogue, and then we'll get into a bit more intense gameplay.
Yeah, right out of this cutscene, there's the first fights of the game. And actually, you might think, well, this is an RPG. We should have to grind a lot of battles in order to be, level for the fights. But these next 2 fights you're gonna see are the only 2 fights we're gonna grind in the entire run.
So see how this goes.
Yep. There's a pretty tight input to hit the middle one. Then you want to wait until Chrono's turn is almost up, but don't let it go up, and then just hold X. As we talked at the beginning of the game, if you set your cursor to memory, battle cursor to memory in the settings, you can just hold X to attack. That means all your attacks go through on the first frame, and that's really important.
So you're gonna grab You're gonna
Go
have
ahead.
these two fights and grab some, or a power tab, and then I'll be heading over to the Cathedral area.
Yeah. This fight you're gonna see how they both attack the same Broly. However, the first one dies, so Luca targets the next one. This causes what we know as an RNG jump. So the RNG jumps from a certain value instead of jumping by 1, which is what it jumps when you attack. It jumps by a way higher value and gives us what we want for the Nagaed fight. So it's really important too. They both attack the same enemy, even though it dies. And you know, those two fights that took 40 seconds, it's the only grind you're gonna do in this run. No more grinding. If we can skip it, we will.
It's pretty great.
Yep.
So this fight is one of the fights that, or a very good example of a fight that, if you're not on the right RNG, it can be quite the hassle, because these Nagas have an attack called Slow, and it's very slow, as the name would suggest, and it can cost you a lot of time. But since these guys are on the right RNG, you see this fight go very, very quick. Kill three Nagas immediately, and then just finish the last one with a flame toss, and they hardly get to do anything.
Yeah, that Zoe spell can cost you, worst case scenario, 24 seconds just with the Zoe spells. And then if you get really bad RNG, they are not together, so you cannot kill them with a fire wheel like that. You have to kill them one by one, which is really, really annoying.
Yeah.
Here we get Frog to join the team. This category we don't see Frog much. He's just gonna be here for the Cathedral and Magus Castle. He's pretty good.
Frog is a good dude, yeah. Interesting renaming going on there.
Jeez. So now you play the organ into the Cathedral, which is one of my favorite areas in the game. Let's see if they get the safety revive. Yep, Magus is getting it. Costs no time, so might as well get it. I don't know if you want to explain the fade out glitch right here.
Sure. So, well, Magus is not going for it. But yeah, the fade out glitch is one thing you will see Redslash do right now, and the idea of it is that you go into a load zone for the next area, and you interrupt the load zone by opening the menu and closing it again, and you can just keep doing that to delay the load for, well, pretty much as long as you want. And that's going to be really useful for a trick later called Save Anywhere. And right there, Redslash just used it to speed up picking up an item, basically.
Yeah, it's not useful in every room, since sometimes you trigger it, but you know, the story doesn't advance until the end of the cutscene or something, but it works for some fights. You're gonna see it later on.
Yep. So in this fight, we just want Frog to crit the two Diablos, so they will die in one hit each, and then just firewhirl the henches to finish this fight real quick.
Yep, so they're both on RNG, so they got a pretty optimal fight, both of them. That's really good.
Yes.
I'm seeing this question in chat. I saw it a few times. This is not best of one, so Redslash is in winners. If he wins this match, it's over. If Magus wins, then we're having another race after this, since Magus lost to Redslash in the winners finals earlier in the tournament. And now I'm gonna explain here. There's quite a bit of glitches coming up. So first of all, they're gonna do the fade out glitch. So as Pat explained earlier, he's gonna enter the loading zone, delay it. He's gonna stand on top of the save point, which is gonna give him the save anywhere glitch. That, you know, surprisingly lets you save anywhere. And here he's gonna unequip his characters. By unequipping your characters, each piece you remove, for the first piece you get 80% magic defense and 10 magic points for attack. If you unequip both, you get 90% defense and plus 20 magic points, which is really, really nice for this run. And then they just run through the Jakara room by saving and reloading on the trigger. And yep, they just cancel everything, and they're gonna skip the boss in a bit.
You also see them move, just stand still and wait for text boxes to appear, and right as they appear, they'll move and scroll the character who's talking off screen, and that'll make the text box close before. Well, you don't have to wait for all the text to appear before you can close the
Yeah.
text box.
Yeah, it's really nice.
If you do that well, it can actually save you a decent bit of time.
Yeah, so we're using the save anywhere glitch to skip a couple bosses throughout the run. Sadly, you lose your save anywhere glitch if you enter another room with a save point. So we have to re-get it multiple times throughout the run. And the unequip glitch, we're gonna unequip the rest of our characters later on. Unequip glitch is really, really nice. 90% resistance to elemental damage, so lightning, shadow, and water. We're not resistant to fire. We're still vulnerable to fire. But 90% resistance to 3 elements is really, really nice. And then
It's pretty good.
yeah. And then plus 20 magic points. 10 for each piece of armor. That's like using 20 magic tabs. So it's really, really good. And magic is basically overpowered in this game. And very few bosses use physical damage. I think Slash might be the only one.
Yeah, there's
maybe
not a lot of them for sure.
Yeah, maybe Nisbel in some cases but yeah. It's really, really good.
Yeah, you'll definitely see the impact of the unequipped glitch once we get to some bosses that actually start attacking us.
Yeah,
that's it's a lot of really dangerous looking attacks deal practically no damage.
Yeah,
it's great.
And that's a big difference between the English version, which we're playing, and the Japanese version. So Japanese version has faster text, but when you unequip your characters, it doesn't give you a magic attack bonus. However, it does give you defense against fire as well, but no magic attack bonus. So for some categories, Japanese is faster, any percent it's faster. And then for no LSS, English is faster, same for 100%.
Both runners getting frog skip first try.
Yeah. Oh, hardest skip in the game. They're heading into Truce Cannon. They still have their save anywhere because they haven't been into another room with a save point. So they're gonna use it here and do what we call reverse bird skip. And then they're gonna wait a little bit here on their screen. They're gonna wait between 0.4 and 0.7 seconds to load into a certain RNG seed that they need for the Dragon Tank fight, and they're gonna keep it all the way to the slime fight, which is technically random in the future.
Yeah, so that tiny reload that may not have seemed like anything for the untrained eye, let's put it that way, actually is setting up your RNG for the entire, like the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, you might think, okay, they just reloaded for the skip, but no, they're just setting the RNG. And you're gonna see it here, and I think in this category, if you do it optimally, you only need to set it here and before the Nether Mountains. And that's it. So this, in the past, we used to have reloads to get our RNG everywhere. Because there wasn't like a nice progression through it. So we had to basically beat a boss, reload, beat a boss, reload. Right now, in a full game category, like any percent or no LSS, we gain our RNG here, then we do it again in the Nether Mountains, and then we keep it throughout the end of the game. So there's only 2 reloads in 2.5, 3 hour runs. So
yeah, it's pretty impressive if you can pull it off and not make any mistakes that ruin your RNG. It's a sight to behold for sure.
Yeah, it becomes really nice just playing the game, keeping the RNG for like an hour and a half. Okay.
So we're heading back to the castle to walk Marl home, and we are greeted with open arms.
Literally arms.
Yeah. Everyone's very excited to see us.
Yep. So yeah, this is what we call the trial. This is like the second intro, basically. It's like 4 minutes of just text. What happens in the trial is decided by what you do in the Millennial Fair. We obviously do what's fastest. So right now we want to get the least amount of cutscenes, so we're going to answer questions a certain way. And by doing this, we have the first RNG point in the run where there's a 47% chance you get guilty, 53% chance you get not guilty. it's based on which frame you close one of the following cutscenes coming up. So basically, you cannot manipulate it, and it saves around 5 seconds if you get guilty. Just less text boxes later on.
Yeah, it's very interesting how one of the jury members, or 7 jury members, and only one of them is random or seemingly random. Again, you have essentially a 50-50. But yeah, it's very strange how only one of them behaves like that, and the other ones are set depending on what you do.
Yep. Yeah, it's really weird because we don't participate in every single thing in the fair. So some of them get set, but this one, it's the cat one. So if you save the cat, you're gonna get not guilty. But if you don't do it, it's random if he gets guilty or not guilty. Which I guess makes sense, maybe you didn't notice you could give back the cat, so in this case we want to get guilty to save those 5 seconds. I don't want to start a war, Punk, but we all know Marl is best waifu. And Redslash not guilty, Magus not guilty. Oh boy, they both go to the same RNG, so they both lost those 5-6 seconds they could have saved with good RNG.
Which is good for us watching, but not so good for our runners.
Yeah. Yeah, the other guys are predetermined from what we did and did not do at the fair. So yeah, it's gonna be nice.
The second jury member is the one that's random.
So yeah, this was our first true RNG part in the game. We're gonna come up into the card section in a little bit, where cards basically turn around randomly as well. But yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. They can be really trolly. This prison section is basically one of the few times when I used to stream that I called for serious time, because it lasts like a minute and a half, but it has a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and it's really nice to execute properly.
Yeah, these, if you try to play it a bit aggressive, the guards can be real trolls and just turn 180 degrees and just instantly spot you when you're going for it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. So right now we didn't get a lot of text boxes because, well, okay, sorry, we got not guilty, so we got the execution. I didn't hear anything about this, blah blah blah. If you get guilty, then the card doesn't even answer back. He just says, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then the best prison in any single video game where you get to keep your weapons. Okay, no safety saves. They both drank the, from the cup that's in the top right corner. We don't know what it is, but it restores your health. So really important to drink that.
Yeah, it's a nice prison. They let you keep all your items and you get some nice coffee or something. It's good.
Yeah, not guilty doesn't do much. It just gives you an ether. And yeah, not guilty ether. Guilty, you don't get an ether. But it doesn't matter for a speedrun. You're gonna see they both hit 60 on this card. That means good RNG.
Yep, so they should be set all the way up till Dragon Tank unless they get into an extra fight.
Yeah. Can run between those shields. And then we're gonna see a pretty bigger use of the fade out. Optimally, I think this is like 11 fades or something. So it's a pretty long fade. And there's a fight in the middle.
Yeah, this one can be kind of rough when you're starting out, just because it's easy to... Well, it can be easy when you're not super comfortable with fade outs to just mess up one input or drop it, and then you spawn all the way back at the start and you have to do it again.
The sync. These cards are random where they turn. So you can see Magus got good RNG there with the card turning left to right immediately. Redslash had to wait a little bit more. And then this one's a little bit. It's the same kind of random. We usually wait. Oh my god, they're madmen. Oh my god.
This is great.
In the finals, dude, they went for that. Okay, these guys are insane.
So once again, if any of those guards turn around and spot you, then you get into an extra fight and your RNG is ruined. So you have to do a backup for the dragon tank fights. And yeah, this sync is great.
Oh my god, they just did a fatal glitch. That fatal glitch again touch one of the card fights, and then when they go back in, the fight's not there. Jeez, this is pretty good. And this is the dragon tank fight. This is where we're first gonna see the RNG actually working like crazy, because we're gonna see a bunch of criticals that are gonna allow us to kill the head first, which is usually not what's supposed to happen. And by killing the head first, the rest becomes easy peasy. The key for this fight is to do your attacks during animations, so you can always get the same damage roll, so you only input during animations. That's why they wait for the head to repair and they don't do it immediately.
Yeah, and you'll see because of all the crits, you'll just out damage the heal of the dragon tank considerably. It heals for what, 70, and you hit for like 180.
Yeah. Here comes a little bit of a skip coming up after this Chrono attack. Basically, you're gonna wait here, then you're gonna use Cycle with Chrono, wait in Luca's menu until the damage roll disappears, and then you do the Luca input. That actually skips one attack from the Dragon Tank. And this is the only part of the run where it actually works like that.
Yeah, I still don't understand why or how that works at all, but it does. It's fun.
And then they both close it out pretty good. Yeah, so Red is not closing dialogues faster, he's just mashing faster than Magus, that's it. Just for an example to you, I compared my run to Redslash, and my PV lost 47 seconds in text to Redslash. He is really good at mashing. Really, really good. So mashing is actually important in this game.
That's pretty impressive. I wasn't aware of that it was that big of a deal. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm just a bad masher.
Yeah, I'm awful at it. I'm sure if you compared the two of us, I would lose 47 seconds to you just in mashing. So
they both get the text skip there.
Yeah, you can basically just hug the corner of those stairs and you can just sneak past the trigger for the guards. Saves a couple seconds.
They both did the Jerry jog there. Basically, at the end, you can try and get closer to a trigger, run back, then run forward, and try to get Luca closer to you. That way, she's gonna walk out the door faster. If you get the perfect one, it saves 51 frames, so a little bit less than a second. So it's worth going for it.
Yeah, and you'll see that in a few situations that our runners will do what looks like a little bit of a detour before they interact with something, just to line up the other characters of the party better, depending on who's moving where.
Yeah, you can see here how Redslash's lead incremented like a little bit just because of that. He had a better jog there. So it becomes really important. Redslash is actually the best of that. He, even when it's not that important, he moves differently to get his team together and walk out faster. It's really, really nice. And now we're gonna go to the future. I personally think the future is one of the most trickiest part of the game. It's actually my least favorite part of the run, just because of that, just because of how easy it is to mess up. But you know, it's pretty fun when you're not running it.
Yeah, the future can be tough. There's a lot of things that can go wrong very quickly.
So they both have the good RNG, so if they can get past the lab 16 and the bug room without getting hit, you're gonna have good RNG for the first factory fight and the Protodome fight. Which is kind of important, especially the first factory fight. We're gonna talk about those acid alkalines in a bit. Back in the future, you gotta make sure you don't mash as hard here, because if you mash after the last text box closes, you're gonna go back into the portal and go back. It doesn't happen often, but it happens.
It's very sad when it happens. It's a pretty big time loss.
Yeah.
So in Lab 16, you'll see there's going to be a lot of dodging fights and stuff. And one of the ways that is kind of unique where they dodge fight is they will open these chests and then run into the rats. And when you touch the rats in this area, they will steal something from you. And by keeping those text boxes of you getting stuff and getting stolen, or stuff stolen from you, you can walk just straight through fight triggers. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that was insane. They both got first cycle. That was perfect Lab 16 for both of them. Oh my god, that was so good.
So clean.
Jeez. Yeah, they're pretty close. There's a bug room that's coming up pretty soon that can be pretty hard if you try to go for the optimal strats. And then there's the biggest RNG part of the run with the acid alkaline coming in like 10 to 15 minutes. So here we're gonna go to the Guardian fight, and if you remember at the start of the game, they changed their controls. They did that to make sure that the X button, which is the menu button, is not on menu. The game checks if you press X, but if you change X, your menu to whatever else, it doesn't do that check. And by doing the fade out glitch, we can skip this Guardian fight, which is pretty nice because the Guardians are really bad boss. It's just like an introduction to how to face a boss with multiple ads.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre that in that room the trigger. Well, the trigger for the fight is hitting the X button and not hitting the menu button. It's very strange, but yeah, it's very convenient.
Yeah, and they also, I think they did it on purpose because they put the alarm on, so you think, oh, there's gonna be something here. Let me save and heal, and you try to open your menu, and nope, you get into a fight.
Yeah, it's quite sneaky. So they're gonna hunt down the rats. Redslash gets them instantly.
Swag rat! Oh my god. That saves or loses no time. It's just, swag. It's kind of hard to get, honestly.
Yeah, if you
I've
catch
never
the
been
rat,
able to get it.
If you catch the rat very early, he's kind of like delaying you, so you don't end up saving any time. You have to wait for him anyway. But yeah, it looks really cool.
Oh, okay. Red went for that really sneaky to the first bug. Yeah, Magus taking the easy route.
Yeah. Don't blame him for that.
No, I don't. I don't go for fast bugs. Never, never.
It looks so scary. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be another fade out glitch. It's to skip half of the cutscene basically. Saves considerable amount of time and also has the side effect of putting Luca and Marl inside the computers, which is nice.
Yeah, the first part of the cutscene is all the videos about Lavos, and you have to actually watch the second part. If you just do one fade out and leave, the story will not progress. You have to watch the second part. So at least we get to skip half. It's pretty good. And we're in the finals. I've said this a couple times, but if anybody can find an Aris Dome skip, so a way to skip this full Aris Dome, I'll give you $200. It's been from 50 all the way to 200 now, and it's still on the line if anybody wants it. Full Aris Dome skip. Let's make it 250. I hate this part. That's how bad I hate it. And there's been some progress to win the Johnny race and stuff without racing, but nothing to get us past this without getting here. Yeah, Redslash movement is insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
That bug room, that clean bug room, it saves around 0.5 seconds. It's so hard. Wow. Yeah, that's why he's number one. He has world record in both 80% categories. And I'm gonna throw a quick plug in here. Abon is in the chat. You should go follow him. He just got second place in 90% today, 1 second behind world record. So you're gonna see a world record pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. So now we're getting into the hypest part of this run. It's gonna be the race with the man.
The man.
The man, the myth, the legend. And in this race, well, I guess there's a couple of ways to deal with it, but the best way to do it is to try to get your little car thing directly ahead of Johnny, so you like bounce in front of him and just stay there for as long as possible.
Yeah. Let's see how many points they get. Their WPs, basically their points.
But of course, at the end of the day, the most important thing is to make sure you win the race.
Yeah.
Losing it here costs you a lot of time.
Yeah. Wow. Both pretty good races. Redslash just played safe here. Yep, he's just playing it safe, boosting at the end, nice. Magus with a 2k,
Oh,
what?
2K.
He's going for it all!
Oh, wow!
2,241, are you kidding me?
It's beautiful.
Wow! Getting over 2k is insanely hard. Wow, okay, that was really good. I think the max score is like 2,300 something. That was really good, wow.
Yeah, that was insane.
Here for this fight, Marl has Berserker, and because we're on the right RNG, or the RNG we want, she's gonna get a crit on both of the buggers, and she kills in one hit, so it's really convenient. I think Magus wins by default, yeah, and we go to the second raid. I'm gonna just repeat it in case some people got here a little bit later. This is the finals of the tournament. Redslash is in winner's side, so if Redslash wins this race, it's over, he's the champion. If Magus wins, we're having a race right after this one, so to decide the champion, so we'll see how it goes. It's really close so far, it can swing anyway.
Yeah, especially with a section coming up that could be a definite equalizer.
Yeah. Yeah, in speedruns, people are allowed to watch the channel if you want to. It's only applicable for randomizer. I myself, I like watching the races when I race. I know Magus, for example, he doesn't watch anything. You know, so it's preference. Yeah, so they get Robo now. Robo is pretty good. He is gonna be used actually quite a bit now with the Cirque Mask and stuff. Oh my god, Red with the cool names.
And Magus,
but yeah, there's a section coming up, which I think we should talk on. The Acid Alkaline fight. So there's a fight that has 5 acid or alkalines drop randomly from the ceiling. And depending on which pattern you get is, you know, how the fight goes really. The thing is that fight changes every frame. So it has 60 different patterns in 1 second. There's a manipulation for it, but the timing doesn't line up pretty well in order to do it on US version. Since our only way to telling how are we doing an in-game time is based on the in-game timer, which only has minutes, doesn't count seconds. So it's usually something we don't go for it. In the Japanese version though, it lines up pretty nicely, and
Alright, Jerry went very quiet. Not sure what happened. Okay, you're back, cool.
Yeah.
You just cut off for me for a sec, so
okay.
wasn't sure what was going on. Yeah, this fight that they just did is the you can see one of the two kind of slimes that will show up in the fight later on, and those slimes have a lot of those red ones have a lot of defense.
Yeah.
So we're still on the correct RNG. So what ends up happening is by just lining up the ATBs properly and attacking with everyone pretty much, you guarantee that Robo will crit for 10 damage, and that will just instantly kill the enemy, which is nice.
Okay. Let's see. The RNG is set. It said when they enter the room. Let's see what pattern they get. This can decide a 20 to 30 second difference right here.
Yeah, this makes a huge, or can make a huge difference for sure.
And ooh, okay, Redslash with 3-2, not a very good pattern. And Magus with the 4-1. Okay, not very good patterns. I actually like Magus's pattern a little bit more.
Yeah,
just because he can cyclone.
I prefer the 4-1 for sure.
Yeah. So the orange ones do have more defense, but if they are if a green is close to an orange one and you hit a green and you don't kill it, it counterattacks, as you're gonna see in Magus screen. That was a really bad rocket punch roll.
Yeah, getting a 7 on that is pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, triple one for Redslash.
A lot of ones.
Wow. Yo, Magus with the 4 cyclone there, it's gonna be really good. This fight can be tricky because you have to keep... all the enemies look the same, but you have to keep track of what damage you did to each one. You don't want to waste a Robo attack on one that has 1 HP, for example. Since Robo hits really hard compared to the rest.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
You say that.
And look, I hit the 4. What's this game? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore.
Everything I know is a lie.
Yeah. So Redslash had a little bit better damage rolls, so he leaves here. Maybe like a 15-second lead compared to what he already had. So maybe like 20, 25. Oh yeah, I'm known to curse the runners. I'm really sorry. You can ask Punk. I think I destroyed him.
So one interesting thing about this this console that they're interacting with is that you're supposed to type in the password, which is XABY. But if you just put your palm over all the buttons at the same time and just hold them down, then the game just inputs the correct password for you, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's really nice. And here we have the R series fight. It can be pretty tricky actually. Basically, you have to do 2 cyclones to each line of R series. You don't want to kill them one by one because then they counterattack. But in order to get those cyclones in, the window's pretty tight. And depending on which RNG you ended your acid alkaline fight, which is random because the pattern was random, we don't know where we're at on the RNG. You can have more or less time to input the cyclone. So it can actually be really, really tight. And they hit really hard, so...
Yeah, the R series fight can kill you in a matter of seconds if you get unlucky.
Redslash trying to protect Robo. Good.
It's a good effort.
Yeah, good. You can see Magus positioning. Redslash is gonna do it in a bit. You want to get into position so Chrono doesn't have to move after this little cutscene's over. I haven't timed it as if it's... I was the one that started this trend, but I don't even know if it takes time.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it, saying that you had no idea if it saved time or not, but
yeah,
it should.
Yeah, it should, but nobody has timed it, so...
Yeah, whether it does or it doesn't, it should.
Yeah. So it might actually be losing time. We don't even know, but okay.
So yeah, right at the start of this fight, it's important to open the menu pretty much as fast as humanly possible, and get this first cyclone off.
That was really good from Red.
Yeah.
He's gonna go for the mid-tonic strat, so he's gonna heal Chrono here. Or maybe Luke. I think he's gonna heal Chrono. So he's gonna wait for Chrono's turn almost to be up and then use the mid-tonic, so he can use the Cyclone during the mid-tonic animation and not have a chance of delaying his menu.
Yeah, it just gives you a bit of a buffer, basically.
Yeah. And Red has this fight. Magus also with a pretty good Cyclone. There's also another strat where Luca kills one of the robots. It's a little bit slower, but it's safer. Are you seeing this time? You're seeing this time right now?
This is pretty decent.
This is a 45-15 series. Are you kidding me? He's ahead of our record by a lot right now.
Yeah, this is insane.
Jesus. And Magus is pretty good pace as well. Like 45-30. Yeah, he's a little bit over 20 seconds behind, which is really good. Just so you guys know, 45 series is really good. Really, 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 really good. Nobody has ever gotten a 44, but jeez, Redslash was so close in a race.
Yeah.
With changing the color and renaming his characters to fun names.
Yeah, he's probably already lost like almost 10 seconds to renaming his characters.
Jeez. So 40, I think for a 4 series is possible.
Yeah, it seems that way, yeah.
He didn't get a good pattern, so that's what makes it more impressive.
Yeah, if that was 5 greens, it would be...
That was a 44. Damn. Wow. They're both playing so well. Right now we enter a pretty nice part of the run. It's a little bit sort of a calmer part for a bit, and then you enter the glitch heavy section of the run with Heckran skip, end of time save anywhere, somewhere skip, Tata skip, and then the Dora Mountains, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, the Dora Mountains is probably my favorite section. There's a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Redslash got 3 reds and 2 greens, and Magus got 4 reds and 1 green.
Oh, Japanese doesn't count, Japanese, come on. Japanese is way faster at the start, but it loses like a minute and a half in Magus. It's still faster. Wait a little bit. It's like a minute and 80%. Okay. So Redslash finishes talking to the old man. He's gonna get magic. Ooh. When you get the "it's locked shut" message, that means you actually pressed A while facing the door. That's why you wanna run to the door, face away until you close the text boxes and go up.
So this is the second hardest part of the run after frog skip. So basically you just want to run around this room 3 times.
Yep. You don't even have to run. You can see how Redslash is running. He knows where the triggers. He's saving a little bit of time there. Ooh, he didn't hit the triggers. There we go. Yeah, if you keep the textbooks open when he says you're cheating, you can just do one more and then talk to him and you'll get it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I remember reading about it in the Discord. But yeah, I've never seen it happen. And here's Specu skip. Yep, Redslash gets it.
Yeah, accidentally hitting yes on that text box. Hey, would you
It's
want to try
brutal.
out your new abilities? That's rough.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Magus cutting a little bit of time here. Here's a little trick that we call cake and dash. So you're gonna eat the cake, then you're gonna change your team while eating the cake. Yep, and then you can run towards the end of the door, and then your team gets together after the cake animation, and you don't need to wait for the text boxes. Saves like 4 seconds or something.
Yeah, normally the imps there would talk about, give you a short history lesson.
Yeah. So Marl didn't crit for Redslash. If Marl gets a crit here, you can actually skip 1 attack. And it's essentially random since we lost our RNG in the slime fight, and we have not yet reloaded to get it back. Yep, no crit for any of them. Get that ether, which I don't think we need in Magus RTA, but you're just too used to menuing for full game runs that getting extra items that cost no time like that, just put your menu in a way you can actually remember, have practice with.
So this area in Hackerun Cave is just gonna be a lot of running firm fights and avoiding fight triggers. You see them already having run past, well, one, escape from one, run past one, and then escape from this one, then I'm gonna use a fade out glitch in the next room to avoid another fight.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, you can run away from fights. So if you hold L and R, there's a little invisible like action bar that starts filling up. Once you get to the top, you run away. But what we do is that we hold L and R, we open our menu, and the enemies cannot attack us, but that bar keeps filling up. So once it fills up, we just close it. And how do we know it fills up? It's just kind of feel. So here comes Hackrun Skip. This is one of the biggest skips in the game. Hackrun's a pretty hard boss. Get the save anywhere, run. Then you need to save past the Hackrun trigger. That way Redslash just did it. You have like 2 frames, I think. And I'm pretty sure he just did it perfectly. Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Wow. You're gonna see it on Magus screen again. You do the fade out to get your save anywhere. You do a safety save here just in case you fail it. You don't have to go back. Yeah, they both got it.
Yeah, that looked great.
That's actually so hard to do on the first try.
There are definitely safer ways of doing this trick, but this is
Yeah, this is the
much
most
as good
optimal.
as it gets.
51 Hackrun, like this guy's too good.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
Even on eLmaGus' side, it's gonna be like a low 52.
Yeah, that's still very good. Low 52 is still world record pace for analysis.
And now coming up is something we call end of time save anywhere. So and I'm not very good at this, so I'll let you
Okay.
explain.
Yeah, this glitch, basically we lose our save anywhere here because the end of time has a save point. So here we need to hold up right in order to set our characters correctly, get a small desync. We talk to Melchior, we keep this text box and then close it, but we still keep the text box. While we're doing that, we hold A so we can activate the pillar. Then we just position ourselves, pause buffer to the correct frame, press start and A on the same frame. And then you can open your... Oh, Redslash missed it. That's 50-second time loss. Let's see if Magus can get it. So technically what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to be able to change your team when you're in the flying animation, in the sip animation as we call it. Let's see if Magus gets it. And Magus gets it.
Yep.
Ooh, Magus is way in the lead now. Damn. So Magus just made up around 40, 45, 50 seconds from Redslash.
Is it really that much?
Okay, no, they both went for it, so it's 33. Going into the Cathedral costs 33 seconds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Redslash loses 51 seconds because he tried it, which cost 17, and then 33 from the Cathedral. But yeah, Magus compared to him, he also lost 17 for trying it, but yeah. Actually, you're gonna see Magus pulling the lead here.
Yeah, they're still gonna be really close.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds between them or something?
Yeah. I honestly didn't remember this when talking about things that could make a difference. I was focusing on Masamune, but this is a pretty big one.
Yeah. You saw them like use pulse buffering to hopefully interact with the little heal thing on the correct frame, but yeah, you can still miss it.
Yeah.
Considerably more consistent than it used to be before that was a thing, but
Oh yeah.
you can still miss it for sure.
Yeah, pause buffering makes it guaranteed, quote unquote, but it still has skill in it. Sometimes you have to press start and A on the same frame. So if you're one frame off, you're gonna miss it. But at least we can guarantee that we're on the right frame.
Right, Alright, so I'm seeing 16, 17 seconds between the two.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And coming up is Sombor Skip, which I told you this was a glitch-heavy part of the run, so I'll let you explain Sombor Skip.
Alright, so Sunburst Skip just uses or abuses the fact that we have save anywhere. So you walk or you it's kind of hard to explain, but basically you do some specific movement to try to get your character past the trigger here, so you can save past it, and then you reload the game and go back in. And
Magus having trouble.
do the same thing again, but yeah, Magus is struggling a bit here.
Oh, Redslash missed it. Oh my god. I think Magus got it. Nope. That was probably... They're both going for this kind of backup. I don't like this backup. Yeah, Redslash's going out. I think that's a smart thing to do. Magus just got it.
Yeah.
Why is he reloading? Oh, he has another backup. What? Sneaky. I've never seen that Redslash backup. Oh my god. And then the second part's really easy.
Yeah, the second part is considerably easier than the first one.
Redslash has another backup. Oh my god. Sneaky dude.
Busting out the secret strats.
Yeah. Okay, Magus is going with no safeties to the door. If something happens in Masamune, he's done. He's losing like 6 minutes. Redslash is taking the safety route. Okay. So Magus can increase his lead a little bit here. Magus gonna have to do that shop later, but the thing is that first shopkeeper has extra text boxes. Wow. Yeah, so this is Tata Skip. First you're gonna do a menu. Magus already did it, but I missed it. And they're going too fast too. By saving on a specific part, after reloading, we can actually clip through the mountain and skip Tata coming up, gelling up, and having to fight an Ogan. And then this fight's really important. Magus got hit with a 195, so he has to do a certain strat in order to get the right RNG for Masamune. Red is gonna hit a 386, which is a 193. So he has to do a little bit of a different strat in order to get the Masamune ready. They both got it.
The end result is the same, but yeah, you have a slightly different approach depending on your first damage roll.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, there's basically two strats there in order to get the right RNG. That's how tight this RNG is. Masamune, literally, 1 pixel can make the difference in this fight. He's so insanely volatile that the setups for it are more specific than just reloading on a certain seed. You have to get that specific value. And there's a lot of fights in the Dora Mountains, but these guys don't care.
Yeah, like I said before, this area is probably my favorite of the run, just because doing the movement around here just feels so good. There's so many fights you just slip by.
Yeah, here's the power time and the speed tab. Coming up is a possible 8-second time save known as Fast Bird. I think Magus got the right pixel. Yep. So he skips basically the group rejoining animation. And then he can just run and skip that bird throwing rocks at you cycle. Saves 8 seconds is pixel perfect. That's really good. Let's see if Redslash can keep up here. I think he got the right pixel. Yep. Wow, double fast break.
Excellent.
These guys are too good.
This race is awesome.
Wow. Okay, Magus in the Masamune fight now. The separate guys. So basically there's a pretty tight input here with the fire. He got it pretty nicely, I think.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, and then Robo's gonna crit. Basically you wanna only attack the left one. The right one would counter attack. So we just take the little bit of hits we're taking. Okay. And then this fire is also kind of tight. It might not look like it because, it's the last attack, but if you wait too much, your RNG actually goes off. That's how tight this is. And 198 is good RNG for the next part, so Magus is good entering the Masamune fight, which... Troll Masamune could be a thing, I don't know.
Hopefully not.
This fight has just confused so many people and has so many things that can go right or wrong, and that I don't even know what's good and what's bad anymore.
Yeah, this fight is a mess.
See how this fight goes. Basically, they're trying to follow a script as close as possible. The main thing you have to worry about here is that you have to do your attacks during chrono animations. If you are too slow with your attacks and you do an attack after a chrono animation, you're gonna mess up. Okay, Redslash is going for a safer strat that loses 4 seconds, but it's a fire punch based strat instead of the fire and rocket punch strat Magus is using.
Yeah, the fire punch strat is considerably safer.
Yeah. However, if Magus gets it, he will save a couple of seconds. Okay, he got good ATB. He doesn't need to worry. There's a little bit of variation in the fight Magus is doing, where you can get good or bad ATB depending on the ATB. That's why it's called good ATB. But he got good ATB, so he doesn't have to do a backup. I would explain it a little bit more clear, but it would take a while. Just enjoy this fight. It's really, really, really. It was really hard to get it to this point. Both strats, basically.
This fight has gone through quite a few iterations.
Yeah. And perfect fight for eLmaGus. 101. 25. That's a pretty good Masamune time.
Absolutely.
So technically, with a good Nisbel, he'll get a low 115 Nisbel, which is really good. Yeah, these guys are too good. Oh yeah, obligatory Masamune skip leg day joke. Haha.
An established point. Alright. Is that a 150? Sorry, 101.54.
So
Not
like
shabby
30
at all
seconds?
for. Yeah, just about. Not shabby at all for missing end of time save anywhere.
Yep, that's the end of time save anywhere difference. The Magus ahead right now, but we still have quite a bit of things to go. This run, as we said, we've talked about the RNG so much throughout this run, but one mistake or losing your RNG causes you to basically have to do a fight completely different and then have to reload later to regain it. So, yeah, there's still a lot to go, and Magus Castle is really tough to do it perfectly.
Yeah, Magus Castle has a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So Magus is gonna do the shop menu here, where he's gonna unequip all characters now. What? He re-equipped for whatever reason. Oh, he wanted to put Defender. See, that's why I don't put Defender until after I de-equip Chrono, and I do it on this menu. Just so I don't re-equip my armor. It seems to happen often. And then you buy revives, shelters, he bought heals for whatever reason, that's fine. Pretty good menu for Magus.
Yeah, for sure.
Red's gonna save a little bit of time here because he already bought some stuff. And he had already de-equipped Chrono. Yep. Magus remembered the team change, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, this team change actually saves. I can't remember how much, but it saves a few seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
we got a
saves
new.
like 6 or 7. No! Okay, so that's new number 1. Each time you go into that forest, you have a 1 in 8 chance of getting a new. So Magus hitting the new. He has been blessed. That's all I can say. Let's see if this is a legendary 4 new run. Redslash? No, no. You can run past those enemies Redslash just ran up. They have no hitbox there. So even though it seems scary, like he's what's gonna trigger a fight, it doesn't.
So
Yeah, the
basically-
lead got shorter.
Yeah, basically, so. Oh, another new.
Double new for Magus, oh my god. That's 2 1 in 8 chances Magus has hit so far.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yep.
Because you see on red screen right now, Marl was talking about the sword and the inscription on the sword, and that's the part that saves you quite a few seconds. Because if
Yeah.
you have Robo in the party, he starts analyzing what
And computing
what
and
it
then
says on the sword.
spelling Melchior backwards and then reversing it. Yep.
So 2-0 in Magus's favor for new count.
Better Johnny raise, better new count.
Wow.
This has to be.
This
I
is
think
the
we should
one.
just give it to eLmaGus now and start the second one. This section, it might. I think it's kind of a intermediate section. It's not too hard, but it's really easy to lose time if you don't pay attention. And Redslash is saving time, like with doing things like that, which I barely caught, which he regrouped his team to go into the portal faster mashing. So it's gonna be a good race finish. So we're gonna have to do the fade out here and talk to Melchior. And that basically advances the story. We don't have to actually talk to him. We just fade him out.
Yeah, this is still really close. We'll hopefully it's gonna stay this way until the end, and it's all gonna be decided towards the end of Magus Castle. That would be cool.
So they're both going to 65 million BC. This part of the run is kind of this cutscene is kind of special. You have to actually close your text boxes on a certain frame. That's why Magus is waiting on that second one, in order to disguise so they move in a certain pattern, so he can hit them with the slash there. Perfect. And then, yep, nice. Really quickly getting into the menu. That's really Magus really.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
Yeah.
Oh, Redslash not getting.
Yeah, he didn't get it. So he's gonna have to do an extra attack to kill that other Reptite. And he's also gonna get hit, so he's gonna lose a little bit of time there. It's not gonna change his RNG, he's still fine. The RNG is pretty lenient for this Nesball section. Oh, barely got hit, that's fine. She didn't die, which is good. I don't think it makes a difference if she dies, but I don't want to find out in the race.
Yeah, this is not the setting for it.
Yeah.
And the Magus finish off the
Second fight.
yeah, second fight here. Just 2 slashes.
Yeah, 2 slashes actually, it can be kind of tight. Sorry. The safer strat is to just do flame toss, but it has a slower animation. So yeah, slash is a little bit better.
And here we meet Ayla. This is a character that is fairly important to rename to just one character or one letter, because she refers to herself in third person all the time, so she says her name a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we can quickly run down. If you were doing a full game run, renaming Luca and Marl saves 10 seconds, Chrono and Ayla saves 6, Frog saves 3, and then Robo is almost insignificant. That's why Magus didn't rename him in this category. And Magus, since you get him so far in an 100%, it doesn't matter either.
So one thing that eLmaGus made sure to do here before entering this party scene is to get rid of Marl from the party, replace her with Robo. It's actually a significant time save, because Marl wants to dance and dancing takes forever.
Yeah.
Robo just stands up and does a little jog on the spot for a while that eLmaGus is joining in on. And it's considerably faster than doing the dance.
Yeah. And then you can talk to Ayla while you have the Robo text box popping up. And yeah, That's what happens. That's something I started doing early 2014. Just it seemed natural, and then Ottavino told me, "Hey, that's what the task does." But it
nice.
wasn't something that was done. It looks pretty nice. It takes a little bit of time. Chrono walking to the right takes some time. Okay. So the mashing contest.
Yeah, you really don't have to mash a lot for this.
Oh yeah, no.
Even
Ayla always drinks like 7, so you have to drink 8.
Yep.
And then this is one of the few parts of the game where we didn't talk about it in the Johnny race, but in this mini cutscenes where you have to play stuff, even if you change your controls, you have to mash with your A button. That's whatever says on the controller. If you remapped it to whatever else, you try to mash that, it's not gonna work. Same for Lucas' mom, same for Johnny Race. And it works like that for the chug mashing contest in the fair. I don't know why it works like that. It just does.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
I found out the hard way by losing the mashing contest once.
Oof.
Standing up, going to replug my controller because I thought it was bad. Finding out, you have to mash the original A.
So here eLmaGus is going to do another fade-out glitch to skip this little scene with Kino.
Yeah. Kino definitely the worst character in the game.
Yes.
We can all agree on that.
And this section has a ton of fights, but with some pretty smooth movement, you can just skip past all of it. Not get into a single one of them.
Yeah. Okay, pretty good. It also has a lot of rough shape, so it's pretty easy to get stuck in the corner. This movement from Magus was really clean.
Yeah, that was super good.
Okay. Magus into Reptite lair. So here you have to do 2 fights before doing the Reptite fight. You have to beat these fights. We cannot skip them. So for this fight, you actually want to get hit. And when we get hit, we can check if we're on the right RNG. So if he gets hit for 34, he's on the right RNG. You usually put Ayla to item. I think that's for in a full game run where you have to use it at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's not very important here.
Not very important here. And Luca to fire is important because we need Luca and fire for the Nesbel fight. You can also set Luca to fire in this next fight, which Magus is doing, which you need to do a quick lightning, then wait Ayla attack until Chrono gets his. And then that just input both at the same time. Ayla crit, Chrono 120, CPC. Now Magus up to the missile fight.
Yeah, it's one more fight to skip here and then run away from this next one, and then there's going to be a little bit of menuing, and then we're on to Nisbel.
Yeah.
So looks like there's about 19 seconds between the two right now.
Damn.
So not a lot at all.
Yeah. We're only gonna de-equip one piece from Ada. We don't need to de-equip both of her. And the Ruby is actually a pretty nice item, which we take off from her and we give to Frog in Magus Castle, which really helps a lot. Yeah, and remember to shelter, yep. What?
There we go.
He moved it. So he actually moved the shelter. So that's why he was looking for it there. This Nisbel fight can be pretty tricky. This first part is actually kind of tight. If you get it though, you save 4 seconds. So basically you want to wait your lightning until Luca has her turn. That's it. If Chrono gets his lightning out, that's good. You can use Luca Fire. If you get hit by Nisbel before using your lightning, you have to use the old Nisbel strat, which loses 4 seconds. But it's a nice 4-second time save, just getting this.
So in Nisbel, you'll see, if you pay attention to the damage values, when he releases his electro energy, you'll will see that the undercut glitch is very effective indeed.
Yeah.
See now this attack seems very scary, it looks very impressive, and then hits you for 23.
Yeah.
It's Ayla for slightly more because she only has one piece of armor unequipped.
Yeah. If you actually play this in glitchless, for example, you actually need to heal for that attack because it's gonna kill you. Deals like 150 or something.
Yeah, it can be really scary, and but in these other categories, the Nispel fight is fairly trivial. You can still lose in game some time there, of course, but yeah, for the most part, it's you're not gonna die here unless you make an effort to do so.
Yeah. Okay, so 115.25 for Magus. Really good. So I'll give you, let's see, a little bit of a example. 115.25, that's 148 pace, more or less, for Magus. 147 with really good gameplay.
1550 for Redslash.
Yeah, I think that's also 148 pace. They're both on really good pace for a race. It's really good. And Redslash miss end of time save anywhere. That's 30 seconds lost compared to Magus.
Yeah, so I would basically put them dead even.
Yeah.
Redslash in the lead by like 5 seconds.
Reminder that if Magus wins this, we're having another race immediately up. If Redslash takes this, then it's over. Redslash is the champion. Okay, run away.
One tiny detail here. It's not a huge deal, but moving diagonally before you run out of the hut, the Ayla's hut, you save a text box.
Yeah. Oh, Magus getting trolled by the Berserker chest. Chests in this game are a real final boss.
Yeah, opening chests can be really difficult sometimes.
Chests and the save points. Standing on the save point to go use your shelter can be the most frustrating thing because sometimes they just don't activate.
Yeah, and you gotta inch your way over.
Yeah. Chrono Trigger, since it has very few RNG, it becomes an execution test, and especially in a race like this between two runners of this caliber, yeah, one mistake can basically cause the race. It's a really punishing game, but it's really rewarding when you actually get it right.
Absolutely.
So Magus is doing a fade out here to the basement, changing his team, make sure he takes Robo out. And now Melchior is gonna fix the sword, but Robo's not gonna be helping him, so the cutscene's gonna go through way faster.
And whenever Melchior is standing still during this cutscene, you'll see eLmaGus run into him to, for whatever reason, that speeds him up a bit, speeds up his animation.
There's also a menu glitch here. You're not gonna see it. You hold start and B and open your menu as soon as it turns black, and the screen doesn't fade in. Yeah, so you didn't see that slow fade in that usually happens when you go into a next area. It just goes completely bright. That actually saves 1 second. And you can do this in this run. I think this is the only part. Where in a full game run, you can actually do it in 3 or 4 different spots, save like a second in each.
Yeah, it's a nice little trick.
This game has so many little things like that. It's really good. The speedrun is really nice.
Second here, half a second there. It's a lot of things that add up.
Yeah. Okay, we're coming up to the last bird skip. This is the most important one. If you miss it, you lose time for the fight, and you have to reload for the RNG for Magus fight. So, we'll see how this guy's doing. Perfect for Magus.
Beautiful.
That's 3 out of 3. And now we talk to Frog, and if anybody, wants to get a drink, a snack, this is your best place. We have 3 minutes of cutscenes in the first Frog one, and then 2.5 minutes in the second one. So you have around 5 minutes before we get into Magus Castle, which is the real hardest part of this game and where everything's gonna be decided. Oh no, no for Magus. Damn.
No, a third new.
2 out of 3. In all the years I've been running Chrono Trigger and watching speedruns starting in late 2013, I've only seen one for no run. It was my background guy. And it might have been either last year or 2 years ago. Just one time when people has gotten the 4 news. It's the blessed run.
So yeah, there's, like Jerry said, there's going to be a lot of cutscenes coming up here. And yeah, this is where mashing can definitely catch Redslash up a little bit. We will see how they're looking at the end of this these cutscenes. Yeah, if you want to take a break and go get a snack or something, this is definitely the time for it. It's just gonna be a lot of Frog's backstory for the most part. But then, of course, you get rewarded with one of the coolest animations in the game after sitting through all the cutscenes.
Yeah, so this is where you start thinking, am I gonna win this race? Or in a PB attempt, like, oh my god, this run is so good, and you have 6 minutes for it to actually affect you and make you nervous.
Yeah, I find that this section is not very good for the run as far as mentality goes, just because, exactly as you're saying, you have time to sit down and think and and just feel that oh, this could be good, this could be bad.
Yeah, it gets you out of rhythm for sure.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, like, for pretty much the entire run, like, you have small sections of mashing just through text here and there, but for the most part you're doing something all the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's just pretty much nothing for 3 minutes, and then you get into one of the harder sections again.
Yeah, and this is something we haven't found a skip for. That would be nice to find, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be possible. This run has evolved quite a bit since, like, when I started in early 2014. Before that, when I started, sub 2 Magus used to be like almost impossible, and just this first half of the game has gone down, over 14 minutes. Insane amount of work by everybody in the community. Redslash specifically, along with Otabino, Sleswire, some other people, Chrono Curvy, they've put in some insane work researching for strats and made a huge difference in the routes throughout the years.
Yeah, even in the short time I've been part of this community, I've seen quite drastic changes to the route and the overall run. It's been really interesting to watch.
Even this year, even this year we got, I think, the last strat, the jog, couple things here and there that changed everything. Well, okay, we got the battle speed 1 for no LSS, the ending, which saves 30 seconds. So 30-second time save on a 23-year-old game in 2018. That's the kind of things that the community is still finding. Shoutouts to Ottavino. But yeah, this has been really, really insane. And this is, I think, where there's a little bit of a lull, and I plug in our Discord. If you want to join the Chrono community, you can just follow the Discord link. It's popping right now. A lot of people, a lot of things going on. You should check it out. Okay. And yeah, if you like Chrono Cross, I've seen a lot of Chrono Cross talk in the chat. You know, that's a Chrono speedrun. So, okay, that wasn't the Discord link. Sorry. that was the tournament Discord link. I'm sorry. This is the good one. Yeah, we have a Discord for Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and Radical Dreamers. So, if you like any of the Chrono games, that's your place. Either for speedrun things or conversations. We invite you to join us. Yeah, when 2014 we were like 6 people in a Skype group, and there's like over 300 now. It's pretty nice to see. A lot of active runners still. You should definitely go follow these runners right now. They're putting a hell of a race. Magus streams all the time. He streams any SRPG. You can imagine he's one of the best. And Redslash, he streams quite a bit, but he usually takes longer breaks. You should still follow him. He's the best there is for this game. And he's also really good at Chip Challenge. And yeah, you should also go follow Seductive Spatula. He has a pretty good stream as well. He streams a bunch of different games. And you can go follow me if you want, but I don't stream anymore that much.
You should.
I stream a little bit, but I don't speedrun anymore.
It's fine. You should still go hang out in Jerry's channel. It's really chill.
Okay, we're back into the action. So this fight here, you want to get hit. Well, you don't want to get hit, but you get hit by 1 rat. Get hit by 19. That means you're on the right RNG.
Yes,
and then you have to run away.
That avoids having to do a quick reload before starting Magus Castle.
Yeah. If you're not quick enough to run away, the second rat's gonna hit you for 22. That's fine. Just make sure that the first one's 19. And it can actually be 19 on Chrono or Robo. So there's multiple RNGs that... But if you get hit 19 on Frog, that's bad RNG. Frog cannot get hit. So no safety save for any of them. Okay. So in the winner's race, Redslash was winning. He made a mistake, but he made a safety save before Flea. So he went back, reloaded the save, then basically it became a tight race. And then Magus made a mistake in the end of Magus Castle, which caused Redslash to win. So let's see how this one plays out. Magus has the lead now.
So at the start of Magus Castle, you just want to run up both the right and the left side of the castle, and then just run back to the lobby or entrance, and that triggers the next part of the castle.
Yeah.
And then we get to 2 pretty interesting fights.
Yep, we're gonna do first just a fight here where with one attack we kill all the enemies. And then we do Flea. We do Flea first, just because we have the right RNG for it. And then we do Slash, which both are not hard. Flea is actually the hardest boss in the game, if you were doing this without RNG manipulation.
Yeah.
But with RNG manipulation, you're gonna see it's still the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Flea in a Chrono Trigger speedrun before, then pay attention, because it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, the Flea manip was one of the first manips that was in. I think it was the only one we used when I started running in early 2014. And then later on, implemented the Magus one. And after that, Otabino just did the whole route. Quick menu there, putting Berserker on front, which is going to be really important. Berserkers are extremely broken item. Every time your character attacks, it can only attack. It hits on the first frame, but it gives them a 150% attack and defense bonus. So it basically makes your character extremely overpowered. And Frog is our best character right now by a lot. So we're gonna let his Berserker go ham against Flea and Slash.
Yeah, whenever you see Frog crits with the Berserker on, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that goes for any character. But yeah.
The flea male, as we call it. Yeah, so this fight, basically you want to get hit here in Chrono for a 49, and then you want to do the hardest try in the game. You want to put your controller down and take a 1 minute and 5 second break. And let Frog do 16 attacks on Flea.
Yeah, basically the way this fight just works out is Flea does nothing and Frog just pummels her, or him, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. If you want a technical explanation of how it works, Flea and Frog have the same speed, so whenever they want to attack, Frog takes priority and Flea's bar resets, so she does nothing. So this stays like this for 16 attacks. After that, we do have to finish her off, so these guys do know their damage rolls and know when to start attacking. But we only need to do 3 attacks at the end.
It's such a great fight.
Yeah, it's actually the longest bathroom break in the full game run for any percent, be it any percent or no LSS. However, if you're not too familiar with your damage rolls, you don't want to leave.
Yeah, I've lost a run to going to the bathroom during this fight and missing one attack at the end.
Yep, it happens.
There we go.
Okay, good fight from Magus. Red's wrapping it up. I hate when Red does that. He just cuts it so close with that Chrono attack. If for whatever reason Chrono attacks before Frog there, your RNG is completely messed up. But you know, Red knows what he's doing. He's just really scary sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. It can be scary to watch for sure.
Magus getting those mid-ethers. Red as well. We don't need the mid-ethers in Magus RTA, but they're definitely useful for no LSS. I don't think any percent uses them either.
Nah, it's just... I guess it's just more habit than anything.
It doesn't lose any time though.
Yeah.
In this Decadent fight, or Decadent? I call them Decadents, so I just realized they're not spelled like that. Decadent fight, at the start of the fight, if you watch Redslash's screen, if you do any single input before Frog attacks, be it like move your cursor, press A, press B, even if you don't input an attack or anything, your RNG is messed up. Don't ask me why, that's just how it works. So you have to wait until Frog finishes his first attack in order to move your cursor and get Chrono to do something. Because if you move it beforehand, your RNG is messed up. That's the only instance in the game that works like that.
Yeah, there's a couple things like that in the little quirks in the in this run. That's just, for some reason, this works different than every other place. It's very strange.
DC then, okay. Yeah, and this fight is pretty long, pretty easy. It has 2 phases. However, if you get off the script, you might have a little bit of trouble. And I don't think I can keep up to who's in the script and who isn't right now.
No, there's a lot of attacks and this is a very long fight, so...
As long as Frog keeps... So basically the way this fight is scripted is so that Frog gets every single crit. You're not gonna crit with Chrono, you're not gonna crit with Robo. You're only gonna crit with Frog. Because Frogs, you know, you can see Chrono's damage is like, I don't know, 100 or something. Yeah, 103. Frog hits for 200. If he crits, it's 400, so it's double than what Frog hits. So Magus done with the first phase. In this first phase, if you die, it doesn't matter because you get revived. There's an instance where you die if you get hit by 22 by the second red, but you just get revived here with 1 HP, and the script has you using a mid-tonic, so it doesn't even matter. Here's where you heal up.
Frog is really, really powerful in this section. He does a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's the best for the flea and slash fights because he doesn't have any magic. He's not as powerful for Magus, but he does lower his defense because of the Masamune.
Yeah, this fight is fairly straightforward as long as you're on script, but yeah, if stuff starts going not so well, then it can be a little bit stressful, but it should be manageable.
If it starts going off script, what you have to do is basically keep Robo as a heal tank. Since he has the best healing options with his cure beam. And then just keep attacking with Chrono and Robo. You can see how Magus just waited there until Slash attacked and then he mid-tonic. That's part of the script. He knows what's gonna happen. He knows Slash is gonna hit Chrono for 170. So he knows he has to wait, use the mid-tonic. And as I said, the RNG in this run, we have it under control. So it becomes an execution test. And these fights, you might think, oh, it's really easy, They are actually hard to execute. And if you don't believe me, you should run this game. That's the link for the Discord. It's really fun.
It can also just be easy to, like, when you're in the middle of especially a fight like this, that's a bit of a longer fight. Even if you have your script and everything is ready, it's just, there are so many attacks going on and so many attacks that should be at the right time on the right character that it can be really easy to just mess up one little attack and then you're screwed basically.
136.23 and 136.40. So there's like a 17-second.
Yeah. It's gonna be close.
Yeah. A little bit of a quick menu here before we going back to the next part. This is what we call the runaway hallway. And you can see why. Just run away from 4 fights.
Yeah, we don't care about any of these fights, so... It's been a lot of jinxing this race already, so...
Okay, so just running away here. Oh, I see what Redslash spelled. Joy.
Oh!
Oh! Redslash with the sneaky names, that's why he renamed his characters. But honestly, guys, if Redslash had not renamed his character and changed his color, this would be like a 5-second race.
Yeah, we've been super close.
This is classic Redslash, though.
It is.
Yeah. Having fun's the most important.
Yeah, I didn't notice either. I'm not used to paying attention to people's names.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. We've had this party for the past few fights, that's right.
So for this section, you just want to run along these conveyor belts and hopefully not get hit by any of the guillotines.
Yeah. Pretty good for Magus. Now, this is the staircase room. This first one's pretty easy. This rollies, you have to stand still until they pass you. The second one, though, it's the hardest room, in my opinion, the hardest room in the game to do fast. And there's a kind of new strat that's called a rolly despawn that saves 5 seconds. That strat's the one that Magus failed last time and lost him the race. So I don't think he's gonna go for it this time. I'm not sure though. We'll see. Oh, okay, he might be going for it. Let's see, he's gonna stand here. Yeah, he didn't get it. That's fine, he can just wait here and then you use your party members to get that bird off screen. Yep, good staircase from Magus. Yep, Redslash got the despawn. Nice, so Redslash just saved 5 seconds there.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Wow. At least Magus didn't fail it like last time, so He just basically did the normal strat, which is 5 seconds slower. This is gonna be really close, guys.
Yeah, it should be like 10 seconds between them right now.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so this strat's pretty easy. Frog attacks the right one, Chrono slashes the bottom left, and then Robo attacks this guy. And then Chrono mashes the slash. I mean, I'm assuming they're both going for the X-Strike strat, so there's not gonna be any difference there. For whatever reason, the game developers thought, okay, let's make the first and the third fight in this room forced, but the second fight you can run away from. So, thank you.
Yeah, it's
We can run away from this one.
once again one of the bizarre little quirks about this game.
Yeah.
Certain things just don't make any sense.
Okay. This is a fight here. Basically, these are the jugglers. If you attack them with magic, they defend against against magic, and then vice versa. So you have to mash slash, attack with frog. Luca is the only character that kills them with one magic attack. So you want to use her to kill too.
Yeah, her fires are very powerful here.
Yeah. And with the X strike. Pretty good for both. I think Red's doing the skip, right? This is so close. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is 7 seconds, 6-7 seconds. I think Red did the RNG jump we talked about at the beginning of the game, so he's not gonna get a crit in the levers coming up. I think that's the case. I think Magus might get the crit. Okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
So this fight, there's a fight here in those stairs, but if you look towards the sides and not up or down, you trigger it. Thank you, Jerry, for discovering that. We used to just, brute force it. Yeah, this is the part now. Magus attacks the first lever. No crit, okay, that's good. No crit for both, that's good. Wait, 118, 117?
Yeah,
I think that shouldn't
values.
matter. They're both gonna get 119.
Yeah, I believe so. But seeing stuff like that always scares me. Seeing
Yeah.
different values.
Okay, so Red did the little jump, so he's gonna get 118, 118, 119, I think. And Magus gonna get the 24, 25, 19.
Also 119. Interesting.
Maybe Red has a different strat, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think this is gonna be an 18, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's doing the menu movement.
Hmm.
I don't know what he messed up. Did that RNG jump screw something up? So Redslash did a 118. It's a little bit of a slower fight. If Magus nails this Magus fight, he's got this.
Because I did notice Redslash did. He attacked the jugglers in a different order, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. If,
No, that the order doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if maybe he messed up an input or something.
Yeah, maybe, and we didn't notice it. There's a backup for it, but the 119 strat is definitely faster than the 118. So, yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but Magus in the lead. He just has to beat himself, destroy himself up.
Yeah, because ignoring the if we ignore the different strats here or the different scripts still have to follow, basically, they're 3 seconds apart.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we will see. We will see.
Okay. Give me your best shot. And here we go. There's a new strat. Well, it's not a new strat. It's been out for like 2 years now. I'd still call it anything that's recent new. But it's kind of hard to execute. You have pretty precise timing. And if you mess it up, you don't lose the fight or anything. You're just gonna lose maybe like 10-15 seconds. And your RNG, which doesn't matter in this case, since we're ending the run here. Okay, they both have the right RNG on the start. Red for the 118 strat, Magus for the 119 strat.
I think this will actually be the first time I've ever seen the 118 strat.
Yeah, you don't get to see it often. But it's faster to actually go with the 118 strat than to reload and get the 119. So that's how close the fights are. Yeah, Redslash found this one out after a bunch of runners kept getting 118 because of mistakes. So he basically just found a new Magus fight. Which is insane. It's not easy to find new fights. Especially
there's
optimal fights.
So many things you have to take into consideration, and so many things that need to line up both during the fight and after the fight.
So you can see Magus waiting here. He's gonna wait until Magus does his attack, and he's gonna input during animations. We've talked about this throughout the run. We like to input our attacks during animations.
Yeah, just ensures that things go off with the right timing.
Yeah, and we can also replicate it every single time.
And you will also see, again, because of RNG manipulation, all the barriers that Magus uses will be manipulated. So we will avoid fire barriers, which would actually deal a bunch of damage. Because, like Jerry mentioned, like an hour and a half ago, the Undercrop glitch gives you a bunch of magical defense, but not against fire, for whatever reason.
Okay, so Magus is doing well with the strat.
Yeah, this seems to be going just fine.
Okay, that's the slash that had to be fast enough. That might be close. It was fast, but I don't know if it was fast enough. We'll see here. If Rock gets this attack out,
I think it's good. Yeah.
should be good then, right? Barely. Oh my god, this is gonna be tight. He might get a second Dark Matter. And Red is also destroying Magus. So we know for sure Magus has a lead, but oh my god. This is gonna be so close. That was a really good slash from eLmaGus. Really good slash. That was really fast. Those inputs changing from menu to one character to another have to be really fast, and they're really hard to do. Really, really hard. Magus has done them perfectly, especially that one.
Yeah, because if you try to anticipate when a character will pop up and try to change the menus, then you will just switch to the wrong character and it will be sadness.
Yeah. Okay, looking good. Magus has to wait there. He waited a little bit too much. Wait. The slash kills, right? This should kill.
I think so.
Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Oh, Magus takes it. Oh my god, oh, Magus takes it. Is this
GG.
the first 147? Is this the first 147 race time ever? And
There we go.
this is the first 147.
147.56.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Redslash with a really low 148. This is crazy. This is a really good race.
So if we check SRL, Magus got 147.57. Redslash got 148. Oh no, he got ANSI. Yeah, he got 148.14 or something. He basically
148.14
split early
yes.
and then split again. That was so good. Just for reference, guys, you just saw the best run from both of them. The best race time ever in Chrono Trigger history. Previous record was 148.10 by myself. This is the first ever 147 in tournament. And this actually gives him a cat now in the leaderboards. He's third place with this time.
All right, yeah.
He takes my cat. I don't have a cat.
Time to get it back.
No, I'm out.
Jerry's a grand
Congratulations to
return.
eLmaGus, guys. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. This is the grand finals of the tournament. Redslash was in winner's side. Magus in loser's side. Magus just won, so we're going into a final match where everything is on the line. Magus just put Redslash in losers. We're going to the final match.
This is
So
gonna be
stay in this
intense.
channel, please. It's gonna be just right after this one. We're gonna give the runners a few minutes to to get their things ready, get some water, go to the bathroom, food, whatever. We're gonna get some new commentators as well for the next one. And it's gonna
Yep.
be great.
It's gonna be awesome. So keep enjoying the race.